gems from our conclave today. Simply stated, as you said very correctly, valuation of a business is estimating its fair value. Now, the concept is very important. We have seen historically also that businesses can be valued and those valuation may not reflect the reality. When that happens, then we call it fake valuation. But if we estimate the value in a way that it represents the truth of the financial position of the business, we call it fair value. It is important today to keep in mind, valuation per se will not give you whether it is true value, real value, or fake value. It will just give you a number. So, what is valuation? It is both fair value estimate and a fake value estimate. This we have to be clear. Valuation is value neutral. It is not having a morality attached to it. It's just a hard, cold process. This is the first takeaway I want the youth to have from our discussion today. What is business valuation? It is a value neutral process. It per se will just give you a number, so to speak, depending upon how you do it, the method you use. How is more than the method. I'm coming to it in a minute. But first and foremost, remember that it is a science and it is an art. It is science because it is systematic, as Mr. Goel said. It has a process well defined. It has steps well sequenced. So it meets the definition of science there. It is an art because not everything is in numbers. For example, what do I use for a multiplier? If it is tech university, a tech industry, then it is a different one. If it is service industry, it's a different one. So knowing this part of practice is the art. And the beauty is science is refined and art also is refined today in 2022. So today we are very well placed to meet our objective. It is the business valuer, his client and the expert who decide whether they are hitting for a real value or they are hitting for a fake value. Both will succeed. Ambition. So be careful. Have the word of caution here. So you must do your own due diligence. And today's discussion will equip you to do your own due diligence. You will not be fooled anymore. You will know whether the valuation number is a true, real picture or it is just the opposite of that. How do we do that? So we take 4 things that we analyze. When I'm doing business valuation, I do analysis of 4 things. First and foremost, company's management, we analyze. Is the company management competent? Are they dedicated to good of the business or are they building their empire for personal glory? These are the questions which we ask and answer.
You have muted.
We also analyze the capital structure. Capital structure is a complex one. I'll simplify it in one sentence. Capital structure is the proportion of equity from the owners for starting the business and running the business, and the proportion of debt from the lenders. It normally comes after the company has been started. Then the capital structure is a very important factor depending upon the phase in which economy is. You know, businesses go through cycle, economy goes through a boom phase and then recession phase. You see, the same capital structure which does wonders for me when the economy is in one particular phase will be a disaster if the phase of economy is changed. So therefore, when I'm doing capital structure analysis, I have one eye on the economy. I want to see for my industry whether the economy is on phase of growth or it is a phase of recession and shrinking. Capital structure per se will only tell you what is the proportion of debt to equity. Nothing more than that. That is the science part. The art part is, keeping the eye on the economy and making it suitable for that one. Obviously, let me tell you, all of you are young people. You may discount what I'm saying, but please do not discount it. Predicting the economy is itself an art. There are dependable methods, but multiple methods are there. To choose the correct method is the trick. And this is where people like me who have made multiple mistakes in life and learned from that become helpful. So, capital structure. The third thing we analyze is future earnings prospects. Your word is as good as mine. That is what the business says. But there are reasonable factors which will tell you whether the estimates of earnings potential is a truth-based number or it is fiction. Both are possible. And when which will be used. You are wise enough. So, earning futures prospects will depend on what has been the trend over the past months and years. And then there is something called growth factor. G, we call it lowercase g, we call it in our technical finance language. If you estimate G correctly, and there it is more an art and insight, something which comes from experience, then and then only your future earnings prospects will be captured correctly. It is not a good thing to overestimate, and it is not a good thing to underestimate. If you are underestimating, the owners of the business are hurt. If you are overestimating, then those who will become future investors in your business, either in equity of the business or debt of the business, both of them are losers because they suddenly start, doubting. Lots of capital is wasted. Nobody benefits from that. So never, be careless when you are doing future earnings prospects estimation. Final fourth factor, I said 4. The fourth one is market value of its assets. Now you see it is relative, subjective, depending upon which asset in which market. So therefore, accountants come in good help here. The accountants will tell you whether it is compliant to the regulations existing there, because a lot of unfair means are used in estimating the market value of assets. Taxes are affected by it. Dividends are affected by it. All things are affected by it. And therefore, the accountants get the upper hand to veto. There may be internal auditors who will say, yes, this is correct. There may be external auditors who will come and say. So you see, this is a very structured field. The common 3 approaches are review of the financial statements. All of you will agree with me. The 3 key financial statements are the balance sheet, which gives you the total financial picture on a particular date in the life of the business. More importantly, balance sheet gives you the cumulative picture from the day the business was born to this day. So very valuable for these 2 reasons. So we review the financial statement, balance sheet. The other financial statement we review is income statement. Income statement is like a video. It begins at certain point, ends with certain point in time. So 1st of January to 31st of December, for example, or 1st of April to 31st March, depending what is your accounting year, it will be the changes in the financial position. So you see, by looking at the financial statement of the first year, I'll be able to revise the origin date balance sheet and come with the revised balance sheet, updated balance sheet. Okay. The balance sheet is like a snapshot on a given point in time at different points in time. What happened in between the 2 points in time? Income statement will tell me. I review that one. Otherwise, I will not get the fair value of a firm. That's why I'm doing the review. The last financial statement is cash flow statement. Most people are more accurate. They don't call it by a narrow definition.
You are muted, please.
It's a product generation more than cash. Almost every aspect of the working capital will be taken. Marketable securities will be included, and inventory and work in process also will be included. I'm talking technical, assuming you all know this language. Otherwise, I'll come to plain English. Now, once this is done, then there are multiple methods of getting to the fair value. The simplest of them, I'll mention only a few, I won't mention the whole list. The simplest of them is market capitalization. So, for example, on 3rd January 2018, Microsoft had its share value at $86.35, $86.35. Now, I need to know one more number. How many shares of Microsoft were outstanding on 3rd January 2018? So it is close to about 86 billion. No, I'm wrong. $7.7 billion were due. If I multiply these two numbers, so then I have done the calculation last night. I found it is $666.19 billion. So this is the Microsoft business valued at $666.19 billion US dollars. So you see, it is very simple. The only complicated thing is every company which is existing, which has been listed, will have its outstanding shares reported every quarterly to the regulator, most particularly SEBI in India. And that's where I get the number. So you know what number I need and where do I get it. So this is the simpler methods of business valuation. Then the next one is times revenue method. In this one, as the name says, for a given period, I estimate what is the revenue. And then I multiply it depending on the company and the environment. As I mentioned, art part of business valuation requires, the industry. So times revenue method will require, if it is a tech company, use a multiplier called 3x. Whatever is revenue, calculated, multiply by 3, and you get the value of that business. If it is in tech industry, if it is in service industry, then it is 1/6 of that. You multiply by 0.5 times. So times revenue means revenue I've estimated. What will be the multiplication?
Muted. You have muted.
Then the next method is earnings multiplier. And this is better method than times revenue, the last one which I mentioned. The reason being profits reflect costs also. Revenue is one-sided story, top line. Middle lines are ignored. So the next method, earnings multiplier, is better. It reflects that one. It is similar to that. The next one is discounted cash flow. This includes, still better, it includes two things. Time value of money, because $1 in 1950 or a rupee in 1950 purchased lots more for me than a rupee does today. So value of money changes with time. the discounted cash flow method includes this aspect also. So this is still superior to times or earnings multiplier methods. Most importantly today, governments are spending right, left, and center, irrespective of the capacity of wealth being created in the economy or in the country. When that happens, the demon called inflation raises its head. Discounted cash flow method can incorporate the rate of inflation over and above the interest rate in the discount factor, and therefore it gives a still more accurate value of the business. Okay, and now you realize those who want to give you true picture, what they will give you, and those who want to give you fake picture, what they will do. They will not use more accurate methods because their lies will be caught. So they want to have some scope for covering up the truth and give you a false picture. Now, as I said, due diligence is possible. So you can do this analysis on publicly available data and get to the true value. It is difficult, but not impossible. It's complicated, but not confusing. Okay. One final word before I hand over the mic to the youth is that valuation of existing companies is relatively easier task. As Mr. Goel said in the opening statement, this is the age of startups. And when you go to the startups, then what happens? They will disrupt. When they'll disrupt, then the existing company will go down. When it goes down, then we need one more method of valuation. And that is, what is the liquidation value of the existing business? Because a successful starter has hit us, we became sitting ducks. So the existing company's final method that I want to mention to you is liquidation value. And it is that take the organization as a going concern. And if assets were sold or the whole company was sold, what will be the market willing to pay to us? So that one is liquidation value. Liquidation value can have its drastic situation that it is under a recovery process and courts have appointed a person who will do that one. Then you are doing distress selling. In that case, you don't get the market value. So that is the lowest of the liquidation value, but it's a variation on the method called liquidation value. So all the key methods I have told you, and hopefully this will give you food for thought and this will spark your questions. Final point which I want to mention is this one, that startups have lots more complexity. Those methods are different. So yesterday when I was talking to our Mr. Lal Goel about our today's plan, we said that we will rather have a specific topics for startups and existing businesses and do in subsequent youth conclaves, 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒. Thank you very much. Hope this was exciting. I'm ready to take your questions.
Thank you very much, Professor Saran, for giving your views, and rather you have explained each and everything about the business value, how the business value has to be taken, and he has given complete description of a company or a business and the market value, the business value that they are taking, and how the stocks, when the company is listed on the stock exchange, then how the valuation is to be taken. So all things he has explained. He has even explained about the liquidation type. At that time, what will be the business value, etc. So thank you very much, Professor Saran. I'm sure what you have spoken has given a clear picture about the business valuation. Now we would go to our youth guest and take the questions from there. So my first youth guest is Mr. Appraisal Kumar.
Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, First of all, thank you, sir. My name is Epil Karmakar. At present, I am pursuing Bachelor of Business Administration in International Business from Assam Downtown University, which is located in Guwahati, Assam. So, sir, my first question is, sir, if I'm starting any business, how will I evaluate that business, and which method will be the best if I'm new to the environment?
Second question.
Repeat
Sir,
the question, please.
First, please repeat the first question again.
Okay, sir. Sir, suppose if I'm starting any business, how will I evaluate that business, and which method will be the best if I'm new to the environment?
Okay.
Second question. Second question.
Sir, my second question is, sir, is it illegal to show fake valuation of any company or business?
Say it again, brother.
Sir, my second question is it illegal to show fake valuation of any company or business?
I get it. I get it. Okay. Very difficult questions. And I'm happy you are asking when I'm still very fresh and other questions are to come. Thank God for that. The method that you will choose should be less costly and time consuming. So I'll recommend you do the market capitalization method first, rather than go to discounted cash flow. If the company is willing to pay you more, or if you're employed, if it is willing to give you longer time, then and then only go for higher methods, which I mentioned. I mentioned in the sequence of cost and convenience. So this is my response to your first question. Okay. That is how I will do it in real life. The second one is illegal. You see, it may be illegal or not illegal, but it is definitely easy to establish whether it is moral or immoral. So when you do what you mentioned, that misrepresent the value, then of course your falling falls on the morality side. For that reason alone, one should not advocate or think of it or encourage. Now coming to the illegal things, depends how smart your lawyer is. Mr. Goel will agree with me that law closes one door and opens 10 windows. So if you have a smart lawyer on your side, then you may
You're muted, Dr. Sir.
Have that kind of lawyer will be caught. So legality is not one risk. It is, varying risk. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Saran, and thank you, Mr. Appraisal Kumar.
Thank you, sir.
Kamarkar. Now my next youth guest is Mr. Jubair Farhan.
Good morning, one and all present here. This is Jubair Farhan from.
Excuse me, Mr. Jubair. You have any other device side by you? Because it's a echo is coming from you.
Sorry, sir.
Now.
Is it fine now?
Please close all the devices. No other device should be there. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So my first question will be how valuation can affect by public or private equity. So is there anyhow that if public and private equity increases, the valuation will be affected or not? Am I clear, sir?
Yes, sir.
Second question.
Second question is how can I know if a company listed in stock exchange has not faked their valuation?
Okay. The effect on people is first either winning the trust or destroying the trust. For example, when the IPO happens, take Bharat Pay, for example, the value was sky high compared to what it is today. So that is because of the poor valuation by intent or by mistake. We don't know. We don't want to comment on that one. You wanted to know what will be the effect. So this is the effect. Either you win the trust of your future investors and retain the trust of the current investors or not. That will depend on the quality of valuation you do. The next one is how do we catch fake? You see, today there is a specialist discipline. It is called forensic accounting. So all the big four and other companies are specializing in the forensic. It has started gaining momentum with the Satyam catastrophe in 2005, 6, 7. So that is established discipline today. That is how people are doing. Hope you understand, Jubair. Thank you for the questions.
Thank you very much, Professor Saran. Thank you very much, Mr. Jubair. Yes, what Professor Saran said, yes, we have seen recently two more issues. One is of Paytm as well as one is Nykaa. Both prices now is doomed like anything. So it was a wrong valuation what was shown at the time. Thank you very much. And now my next youth guest is Mr. 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔. Mr. 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for this program that you have set up. My name is 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 Liang. I'm from Assam Downtown. Currently, I'm pursuing my BBA IB from Assam Downtown University. And my question is, sir,
which city? Which city you are?
Assam Downtown University. Guwahati, sir.
Okay. Guwahati. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir, my question is, if evaluations is low in a starting of a company, how can our company be evaluated?
Second question. Ask the second question immediately, na?
Sir, I have only one question.
Okay, fine. Thank you. He's only having one question.
If the valuation is low, then look at the methods I'm using, and that will give you the clue. How can the company management improve it? If I'm using times revenue method, for example, then if I improve my marketing, if I improve my product quality, if I improve the customer relationship management, if I improve the incentive system for my salespeople, all these four things will go to improve the revenue. And when the things are improved, then this will reflect in higher value in subsequent periods of time. So 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔, that's how you do it. This is just one example. Because of paucity of time, I'm not telling the whole spectrum, but we have dependable techniques to genuinely improve the valuation of the companies. But it takes time, and the management must be willing to invest in that one. The top management must be committed to those programs. Once these two requirements are met, the valuation can keep on improving over time. It is a scientific, systematic method. In my introduction, you heard I doubled the turnover with the existing infrastructure for a company. I did that to improve the valuation because the company wanted to issue additional shares in the market. So better the valuation, better the value recovery. So we did not want to fool by fake valuation. We wanted to improve our true worth. Because if the company's value improves, it is logical that a good method to capture that one will reflect it, and our auditors will certify it, and the stock exchange regulators, SEBI, will accept it. So you are in fair open. You are not doing anything immoral. You are not doing anything illegal. You are doing everything proper, and you are benefiting. Your employees are benefiting. Your shareholders are benefiting. Thank you for this beautiful question that gave me opportunity to mention all these linkages in the business.
Thank you, Professor Saran. Thank you, Mr. 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔. Now, my next youth guest is Miss 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒.
Thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity. My name is Sindhuja. I am pursuing Masters in Business Administration in Murray Lakshman Reddy College, which is affiliated to JNT University. It is located in Hyderabad.
Very good.
Question, please.
My question is, what are the strategies are used in big business organizations? My first question. And second question is, How do you calculate the cost of equity?
Okay, very good. The second was a very technical, particular question. I'm happy you asked it. The first question, the strategies used by big businesses are they very closely monitor what is the share stock movement, stock exchange movement. And then the big businesses diversify. They don't stay in only one country. Mostly they try to be in more than one country, multiple countries. And there they use the principle of diversification. The principle of diversification says, if you have bought a jeweler's share, then during Diwali, its share prices will go up. But if you have bought a share of a company which makes dry colors, then its share prices will go up during March. So if I buy both the shares, I'll have shares, returns high in March as well as in November. And on average, I'll have good returns. This is principle of diversification. When one is low, the other is high. When the other is high, the first one is low. So this is the biggest strategy they use. This is open to them because they are big. They can go to multiple countries and then do it. A smaller countries also, companies can diversify, but they use different strategies. But you did not ask me that, so I'm not answering that. Coming to the how to calculate the cost of equity. Well, the cost of equity is a misnomer. It is actually price of equity. So the price at which people are willing to buy their stocks is the cost to the company. So it is simple as that. By looking at the listed companies' stock prices, I know this is what is. But what if it is unlisted? Then the thing is this rule of thumb. What return are the people expecting for investing in the equity? So you take a sample of 100 companies from 100 sectors of the economy, one each. Okay. And then you ask their investors, if you have to invest in this industry, what percent of return do you want annually? They will give you a number. You have surveyed 100 once. You do your calculation statistically. You'll come with one number, the median number or average number or mean number, whatever you call it, that's not material. That is a statistical mumbo jumbo. To a businessman, you will have one number. And that is what they're expecting. Because equity is the riskiest investment to a person who wants to contribute capital to business. Riskiest because once you invest, you cannot go out. Now there are secondary markets. So I have liquidity. I can buy Tata shares and sell them next day. But people don't buy equity. Excuse me, there are day traders, they buy for 4 hours, sell after 4 hours. I'm not talking of those ones. The people who actually want to invest, which give the value to the firm, I'm talking about that one. So the calculation of equity is this one. But I have said it so simply, when you sit down to apply this method, what is the expected value? Then the mathematics becomes very complex. It is so complex that two people in 1950s were given Nobel Prize for answering your question. How to calculate cost of equity? Two people were given Nobel Prize for that one. So that is how beautiful it is. Thank you, Sindhuja, for beautiful question. Your Professor Niranjan is my student, so you are particularly dear to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Saran. Thank you very much, Ms. Sindhu. Now, my next youth guest is Ms. Niharika Das.
Thank you, sir. My name is Niharika Das, and I am pursuing BBIB from Assam Downtown University, and it is located in Guwahati city. So my first question is, as sir has said about the boom and recession phase of the economy, sir, can you explain the specific boom and recession phase with some examples related to the business? And my second question is, out of the various techniques he has explained, can you specifically We pick up the best technique for the valuation of a business?
Okay. Very difficult questions, Niharika. And therefore concentrate on the answer, because don't expect an easy to understand answer. The boom and recession phase of economy is an average. If there are 80 sectors, a steel sector, paper sector, chemical sector, service sector, agriculture sector, mining sector, so on and so forth, all of them are not tied together. They are independent in the economy. So if one is growing, the other is just staying constant, a third one is going down. So all taken together is the economy as a whole. Same way as Uttar Pradesh or Bihar economy is not growing well, let us say. But Maharashtra and Gujarat is growing. Month changes, year changes, and the picture changes. So this is why the study of boom and recession is so complex. People have developed a system called national income accounting, which is applied even at a district level. So district income accounting can be derived from national income accounting. India has close to 600 districts in the country. Now, if I take each of them as my raw data, then I can get the national. And if this year's rate of growth is more than the last year's rate of growth, we are saying that the economy is in growth phase. Then a point comes when it stops and it starts coming down. So this is boom and bust. Since we are talking about business valuation, the first question you ask is which sector I am. And for my sector, is the economy growing or coming down? That's very important. Don't take the average. Average can be killer. I'll tell you one story, Niharika, that a major was taking his, Jawans with him. 100 of them were marching behind him. They came across a river. So brilliant major, he must have studied, quantitative methods in our college. So tells one of Jawan, break a bamboo stick and go place it in the water where the river begins, measure the height, then go in the middle of the river, measure the height, then go to the other end and measure the height, bring those three numbers to me. They bring the number, he calculates, and he finds the average comes to 5 feet 7 inches. All his Jawans were above 6 feet tall. So he says, average is 5.7 inches. Let's, walk through the river, all drowned, everyone dead. This can happen in boom and bust estimation. If you are not keeping, what industry are you in? So that is my answer to your first question. The second one is, which is the best method? You see, it depends on purpose. Depends if you are going with friends to have a party.
You are muted. You are muted.
What you like yourself best? Maybe you like Black Forest best. Your friends like pineapple best. So you will have to negotiate there. So best is not one best. It is negotiated by different stakeholders. Business value is interesting to stakeholders. So best I choose depending on the stakeholders. In real world, that is how it is. Thank you, Niharika. I love the questions.
Thank you very much, Professor Saran. Thank you very much, Ms. Niharika. Now my next youth guest is Mr. Rebu Sarkar.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. So my name is Rebu Sarkar, and I'm pursuing BBIB from Assam Downtown University, which is in Guwahati. So my first question is, what is the difference between business valuation and business appraisal? And my second question is, what are the types of value are used in business valuation?
First one is, what is the difference between business valuation and business
appraisal?
Appraisal, correct?
Appraisal, yes, sir.
Appraisal.
Okay. And business valuation and business appraisal, okay. And
the
second
second-
question.
And the second question is, what are the types of value are used in business valuations?
Okay. The business valuation is a specific exercise. Business appraisal is a specific exercise. That's where the similarity ends. Business appraisal generally I carry out if I want to improve my processes. For example, if the marketing is taking too long to convert a potential, I want to do business appraisal of the marketing department. If my production department is wasting too much of raw materials, they are taking 10 tons of steel and making only 2,000 refrigerators, whereas competitors whom I benchmarked take same amount of steel and make 1,500, 2,500, 3,500 refrigerators. Then there is need for business appraisal. I hope it is clear. Now, business valuation I have explained to you all. When we want to now either sell the whole company or sell a stock or even borrow long-term funds for our growth, we have to tell what our business value is so that the investor either in equity or in debt knows what will they do. They want to make an informed decision about investing in our firm. Business valuation serves that function. I hope that's clear. Now coming to the second question, what are the types of value? So generally, technically speaking, either you are talking about book value, or you are talking about market value, or you are talking about liquidation value, or if you are talking about valuation for companies which don't even have revenue. Startup cases, which I said will follow up in our subsequent youth conclaves, they don't even have revenue started. So what will be the value of the business? So business total value and then different types of them. This is how we talk it. Thank you, Rebu. Great question. Very interesting.
Thank you very much, Professor Saran. Thank you very much, Mr. Rebu Sarkar. Now my next youth guest is Miss T. Bhavani.
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
So, thank you, sir. My name is Bhavani, and I'm doing my Masters of Business Administration from Mari Lakshman Reddy Institute of Technology, affiliated to Jawaharlal Nehru Institute from Hyderabad. So, my first question is, how can a business owner prepare for a favorable business valuation? And my second question is, what are the biggest challenges in doing a business valuation?
Very good. Very good. Nice questions. What the business owner can do to get a favorable business valuation is honestly run the business with the help of competent executives and managers. Reward them handsomely, equitably, fairly, and be up to date of changes happening in the country, in the world, in the industry, in the field of technology, and social changes. Every generation, expectations change. People's work attitude changes. So be tuned into that. If a business owner does these things generally, then you can be sure you'll get a favorable valuation because your business is extremely healthy and tuned to the times. Now, this was a general answer. What I will like to tell you, Bhavani, is, as I told another participant, if my sales are not doing well, if my production is not doing well, as a business owner, I must see that as the cause for bad valuation that I'm getting. So, like a doctor looks at the organs, says what is not functioning, and goes and solves that problem. As an engineer sees what is not working and solves that problem. We, as a business valuation scientist, should go there at the cause, root cause, and solve it. So my summary answer to you, to the first question is do a root cause analysis and find the root cause and solve it as a business owner, you'll get favorable value. Coming to the second one, biggest challenges are the maturity of the person who is doing or guiding the process of business valuation and integrity of that person who is doing the business valuation and the team members who are experts of their domains. If these three challenges are met, then you will be able to get what you want. If you are a godly person, you'll get a fair value estimated accurate. If you are a devil, then you get the best fake value and take the investors for a ride. As I said right in the beginning, as a business valuation expert, I don't pass moral judgments. It is up to the morality of the people who are doing, whether they pursue the God called real value or the people who are worshipping the Saturn and get the best fake value to hoodwink the people. I only will tell challenges are those ones. Both of them face the same challenges. A very competent team is needed to produce the best fake value, and a very competent team is needed to produce the best real value. So this is what I want the young people to appreciate. Thank you, Mr. Goel, for the opportunity that I could mention this point to Bhavani's question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Saran, and thank you, Ms. Bhavani. Now, my last but not the least youth guest is Ms. V. Navya. Please unmute. Please unmute.
Good morning, sir. I am Navya. I am pursuing MBA in MLRITM, Mari Lakshman Reddy Group of Institution and Management from Hyderabad.
Navya, some device is on nearby you. Please close all the device. Yeah, please go ahead.
Now audible, sir?
Yes.
Good morning, sir. My name is Navya. I am pursuing MBA in Mari Lakshman Reddy Group of Institutions and Management from Hyderabad. Today's my question is, how many methods are there in business valuation? And second question is there have any course to learn business valuation?
Okay. The different methods will give you different pictures. And I'm happy that you asked this one again because it gives me opportunity to add other layers to the understanding to this issue of valuation. You have heard the story of 6 blind men and the elephant. This is very appropriate example here. The different methods which I mentioned tell different aspect of the value of the business. Business is the central thing. We are looking at the whole of it and trying to attach a value. As it is, as it can be, it is complicated. So 6 blind will give you different ones. Now you need to combine them, and that is where the art comes. Science gives you the versions with 6 blind men game. You now sit down as the person responsible for proper valuation. All the different methods must be used if you have resources. And then together you come up with the final picture on the valuation. Is that clear to you, Navya? I hope it is. Now coming to the second one, I forgot what your question was. Human being. So tell me what your second question was.
Is there have any course to learn business valuation?
Okay. Why will I forget a question like this? So easy to remember.
Age.
Because the answer is your college is giving courses. You are studying those ones. Corporate finance is the course in which we teach business valuation. Okay. Whether it is BBA level, we teach it. We teach it. MBA, we teach it. So that is that. So thank you for the courtesy of asking this question. Only thing is, the reason I pretended I forgot you is I want to say something very important. And this is what I was talking to my second boss for the day. First boss is Mr. Goel sitting there controlling the process. Second boss is Mrs. Sharan sitting in Sunnyvale, California. So I told that the problem with these young people whom I am going to talk is their teachers will be teaching it mechanically. Whether they are studying in I am Ahmedabad, I am Bangalore, or they're teaching in Mahalakshmi Institute of Management in Hyderabad or Guwahati or other places, depending upon what their teacher taught, add to this what they taught themselves, they're teaching, but they're teaching it mechanically. Some teach it very well with the help of cases, you understand it. But the problem is this, who asks what exactly is driving the value? And those ones we take it for granted. The corporate finance professor takes it for granted. The financial accounting professor will have taught you inventory valuation, working capital management, capital structure, and things like that. No, it does not happen. The sad thing is, all the courses which I was taught like not 6, but 36 blind men teaching me about the elephant and leaving to me to integrate those 36 courses. I was taught 21 courses in first year, MBA at Ahmedabad, 15 courses in second year. And in all honesty, I can tell you, the best of the best teachers only did that particular blind man's job, which the 6 blind men did in their investigation of the elephant. Elephant being managing business value. So this is the reason I took the special chance, dramatized a little bit, told you what was the second question I have forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Saran. Thank you very much, Ms. V. Navya. Yes, it means your age is not that much. That's why you have not forgotten and you pretend to forget. Thank you. Now our first round is over. For the second round, I'm starting from the reverse side. So you can ask now the one question only and no need of any introduction. We all know you. So my first youth guest from this, the second round is V. Navya. Please ask your third question. Please unmute. Please unmute.
What is needed in business valuation?
The first thing that you need in business valuation is a clear vision what the business is all about. You must understand the complex parts of the business. If it is a big organization, that much will be different. So first is this requirement. Second one is sources of information. It can come from accounting. I told you what all do we analyze? Management. So it may come from a management manual, systems manual. All right. So second channel is identifying and accessing the proper sources of information required for business valuation. The third one is, let me be the one who says integrity. I don't advocate fudging the business value number. It does not benefit anybody. In short term, you may gain, but you end up paying like Satyam finally. So these are the 3 requirements according to me, Navya. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Saran and Ms. Navya. T. Bhavani, please.
Yes, sir. How valuation plays a pivotal role in fundraising?
Wonderful. You see, before I part with my money and hand over the control to a third entity, I want to be sure it is safe. Think like this. If I am a young parent, but both husband and wife are working, our 1-year-old child has to be put in a daycare. I want to be very sure that the daycare person will be having integrity to take care of my baby as a baby, not feed at the wrong time, not let the baby sleep at the wrong time. These are important for the growth of the baby. And most importantly, I'll tell you one personal story.
You're muted.
He was very high up in, very high up, and therefore he has orderlies. So one of them was taking care of his firstborn. It was a daughter. And that fellow had access to what we call psychotropic substances. And in order to reduce his problems, he will give a tiny amount of that psychotropic content to that baby so that the baby keeps on sleeping, does not bother. And result is that baby became not only a physical liability to them, but a psychological liability. It did not grow physically, it did not grow normal psychologically, and it was such a pitiable case. Same thing happens when we don't apply these principles of due diligence in valuation. So this is my answer to you.
Rebu Sarkar.
Yes, sir. My third question is, how do you value a company?
Do I?
Sir, how do you value a company?
That's what the whole conversation of today is. So if I take the whole content beginning 10:30 today, put in a distilling vessel and bring out the essential oil out of that, that is the answer to your question. First cut. This is how I value a company. Now coming to the specific thing that you are asking, you see, I cannot value a company I do not understand the business model of. The large companies, existing companies, beautifully are product of multiple business models. Take Hindustan Lever, for example. For its oil business, it has one business model. For its personal hygiene product, it has another business model. So my understanding the overall business, which I'm distilling, is picking each of these business model and do this second level of analysis. In second level of analysis, I say, is the personal hygiene helping the oil business? If the answer is yes, wonderful. My valuation number, the multiplier, will increase. But if my answer is that business model is such that if I increase fund allocation to that division, I have to cut the fund allocation to the oil division, then they are moving in the opposite direction. A different multiplier will be found by that. This is what we do in real world when I'm valuing a company, Rebu. And this is the fact. This is the truth.
Yes, sir.
Niharika Das.
So my question is there any regulatory body to check and verify a company's valuation?
Oh, there is, not only, but beauty is we have regulators for regulators. So we have SEBI, then we have RBI, and then we have Vigilance Commission. And the tragedy is they all get together and we, the Janta, are paying. Thank you.
K. Sindhu, please.
My question is there any internal valuation?
The answer is yes. And seldom you will find that only external valuation is there. It is possible that only internal valuation is there, no external valuation. But it is not possible to have only external valuation, no internal valuation. So that is my first level of answer to you. Now, the external valuation is generally done by what we call investment advisory consulting businesses. So Motilal Oswal or that Jhunjhunwala gentleman
Rakesh Jhunjhunwala,
who will be doing the external valuation. But in order to do their external valuation, they look at the data submitted to the regulatory bodies, SEBI and RBI, which come from internal valuation. So now the answer is complete in two parts. Yes, there is internal valuation. In fact, external valuation takes the output of the internal valuation and then does its own independent valuation. Okay.
Mr. Quillen, please.
Sir, my question to you is, what is the most suitable method to increase a newly set up business, and what will be the example of it?
You see, if you take your newborn to the doctor and say, what is the difficult thing to you, doctor? Your question is just like that to me. The baby is changing so fast in the early years that I cannot form an opinion whether lungs is growing healthy, whether the heart is growing healthy, whether bones are growing healthy. So I have to make a lot of guesses, a lot of judgment. And this is the core problem, which is what you asked is my answer. A lot of experience is needed, and I have to keep my fingers crossed, all fingers, toes included, when I'm valuing a fast-growing young startup. Okay. So that is why I requested Mr. Goel that we'll have other youth conclave on these ones, where we'll just focus on that topic. Theme is valuation. Topics will be the one which you mentioned. We may have a full-fledged youth conclave on that topic. Thank you for the beautiful question.
Mr. Jubair Farhan.
Out of curiosity, I would like to ask Dr. Sudhir Sharan that is there any company valuation that draws your attention at most, and if yes, why it does?
Thank you very much. It is almost a personal question. When I was your age, the biggest concern to me was how quickly can I get out of this slavery called employment? And therefore, I knew that if I invest well, I will have independent source of income. But in order to invest well, I needed to save well. And therefore, what I did is, I asked my boss, I'll travel all 30 days and live on T and DA, which I get, so that my total salary is saved. Okay. Now, I had healthy saving, and I did not know about Warren Buffett at that point in time. It was not necessary. Common sense is beautiful because it is common. So my friend had started a business in Bangalore with his brother-in-law for enameled wire coating. I told him my entire saving I'm putting in recurring deposit here and giving instruction to my bank, State Bank of India at Raigada in Orissa, that every month they'll transfer, the day my salary is credited, they will send it to you in the recurring deposit. And it can be a longer story. The savings which I created at the enameled wire company, now I went to Orissa, you know, government offices, they have plans where state highways will be built, national highways will be built. My friend in Bangalore told me this, it was not my own idea. He was brilliant. He was one of the toppers in my class. So he gave me the idea. I bribed the staff. Thank you very much. Some bribes are good. So I gave that poor man some money and he gave me a copy of the plans of the roads. I selected land near one of the state highway, which in my judgment was to be constructed in 5 to 6 years time. It proved right. It actually a state highway was built. Now, what I bought for 1x became 1000x of value. Okay. So that was my real estate investment. Equivalent to this, I do blue chip company analysis valuation. I do my independent valuation. And not only me, my son-in-law listens to me, my daughter listens to me, my daughter-in-law listens to me, my son listens to me, and they invest in those companies. And anybody who asks me as a personal advice, as a personal trust, I'll tell you one of those companies where you can put your. It is safe. Blue chips are the best protectors of capital. They may fall from grace if their management changes. That's why the first thing I said is, when you analyze the management, when management changes, then anything can change. The honest company can become dishonest, a dishonest company can become honest. All those dramatic changes may happen. So thank you for this nice question, beautiful question.
𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔.
Sir, since I'm very much motivated after all your valuable sharing, can I ask you one personal question?
Please do.
Please ask the question first. Fast, now we have to go for
Yes.
next round.
Yeah, sir. Actually, we are planning to start one ride-hailing and renting services for logistic transportation here in Guwahati. So now, at presently, we are seeking for investors. So if suppose I got the opportunity to hit any one of them, so how will I evaluate my company, sir?
You see, you have to be transparent about the business processes, your business model. And the moment you are transparent about the business model and business processes, if you tell you have got competent team members in your founder team, with these three things, you have best chance to attract the best investors for your company, best wishes for your future.
Again, I am coming to Mr. 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 for the fourth question.
Yes, sir.
Fast. This is a rapid round. Fast, we have to ask the question. No time because we have very limited time now left. Yes, go ahead, Mr. 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔.
Sir, which if for logistic transportation, which will be the best business model, sir?
Supply chain specialist will be your best option to go for. Don't go for general companies, go for supply chain specialists, those who are good in connecting the producers with the consumers. B2B will be your lucky place.
Mr. Jubair Farhan.
Sir, as you mentioned that about blue chip, sir, why not about stocks and cryptocurrencies and all, or even gold?
Gold, I always advise part of your, 1/3 of your savings should go for gold, 1/3 for real estate, 1/3 for blue chip companies. My personal one, that is what I did. It is helping me. I don't have money worries with grace of God. Cryptocurrencies, I don't advise for one simple reason. Again, it is very personal one. I think a lot of drug, blood, and dirty money is being channeled to cryptocurrency. I don't go anywhere near where these three things are there. I'm a hardcore capitalist. I respect capital. So that is my personal position. You ask a personal thing, I give you a personal answer. Thank you very much.
Mr. Keelung, please.
Okay, so if I'm supposed to invest in the company for equity shares, like the companies don't force for the present times, should I invest there or not? I just want to clarify that.
You are giving too little information to make it too big a judgment, but within the limits of a manager having to make a decision with the when information is incomplete, I will say that see if you get the right vibes by reading the company documents. If you get the vibes that they are being honest to you, then by all means go ahead and invest. But if you get the opposite vibes, stay away, Baba. Don't waste your money.
𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒.
No, sir, I don't have that question, sir.
Okay, Niharika.
Sir, suppose if I'm doing any business, does the valuation method will be similar to any other business company which is in the same field?
In the same field, yes, it will be similar because one of the methods is or approaches is compare similar companies. The reason being in their processes, we can do benchmarking, learn from each other, improve each other. The two competitors are valuable to each other because they learn from each other. And the customer is the final beneficiary. Look at the radios, how beautiful they have become compared to what they used to be in my teen years in 1960s. So that is because all competitors keep on improving. So you are right, we learn from the similar companies and we use similar methods for valuation. Thank you.
Rebu Sarkar.
Thank you. I have no questions now.
T. Bhavani.
Yes, sir. What do you mean by profit method valuation, sir?
Okay, that was earnings multiplier method followed by, the discounted cash flow method. It was preceded by times revenue method. So revenue was just top line of the profit and loss statement. This one, the profit method is actually called earnings multiplier. So it looks at the price which you are paying and what you are earning after meeting all the costs, paying for the interest, paying interest on the debt, and paying taxes. Earnings after interest and tax is the number you take, and then that is what is reinvested in the business for growth in a nicely stable, mature company. And if your managers are brilliant, they search for the opportunity where this surplus profit can be invested. Some people can get 8%, some people can get 18%. Some of them may be genius like Warren Buffett. They can get 28%, 38%. So you see, that's why I advocate the profit method. That gives much truer method, a truer picture than revenue method. And if I add a discounted cash flow to this, then I have time value of money and I have inflation built into it. Will be rock-proof value. Very less room for mistake or exaggeration. So that is what my answer is, Bhamani.
V. Navya. Please unmute. Please unmute.
There are so many business are running. So every business can need business valuation.
Yes, yes. Every business must have business valuation by using one of the methods, which is management is very comfortable with. Without business valuation, you will not know how good are you as an owner. You will not know how good you are as a manager. You will not know how good are you as an employee, and customers will not know who to deal with. So for that simple reason, all the stakeholders need to know this number. What is the value of the business with which I'm connected? Thank you.
Okay, now we have completed the 3 rounds, and if any of you we have some time more. If you have any question, you can just unmute and ask the question. If you have. No? Okay. Now I'm going to ask question to Professor Saran. Okay. My question to you is, sorry, is anyone is asking? No. Okay. My question to you is, Professor Saran, when you have mentioned about the valuation, how the companies to be valued. Okay, the promoter or the businessman can do the fake business valuation, as you said. But there are lots of regulations in India. I'm talking of India because we are in India, where you have to file your prospectus to the stock exchange, to the SEBI, and in case if you are taking some foreign investment, then to RBI also. Why they cannot check that whether this valuation is fake or it's a fair valuation, which according to you is easy to check if you know the complete procedure. Is it the intent, or they are just careless, or you cannot check the fair and the fake valuation of a company. To Professor Saran, he will be kind enough to reply and we will send to you. So that is one. And secondly, your certificates will be sent in a day or two. You can contact your institutions for collecting those certificates only to those who have participated today. So at today's program, I'm sure our viewers that what we are doing, our endeavor is to enlighten the youth. And not that we are not doing other topics, but at least once a week, we want that youth, pan-India youth should come, raise their questions, although they are studying in their one of the best institutions everywhere, and the institutions are imparting good knowledge to them. But many times it happens that the young mind wants to know something more, which they feel hesitated to ask their own professors. So that's why our idea is, and not only those who are participating, those who are viewing our program, either live or even afterwards, because it's available on YouTube, one can watch. And if you will watch all those programs, even the previous programs are available on the YouTube, you can gain so much knowledge about different topics which we are taking every Friday. Generally, we are taking on Friday until there is some other topic which we have to take. So thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Caru News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, as well as shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor to bring to you everyday new topic in media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Tomorrow, our topic is, as you all know, that we have just completed the 5 state elections. The results came yesterday only. So tomorrow, our topic is state elections 2022 result analysis. We are going to analyze the results. And our panelists are Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, renowned advocate of Western UP Mathura, Mr. Arun Lakshman, Director of Center for Policy and Development Studies. He was the officer on special duty to Minister of State for Law and Justice in Mr. Vajpayee's government, and Mr. Nirmalendu Verma, renowned social activist, a spokesperson of Bihar Pradesh Congress Committee, Patna. So please tune in tomorrow for media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, all the youth guests who have joined today, and thank you very much, Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, for joining and giving your replies to all the youth. I am sure today's program is very, very enlightening, not only the youth who have joined, but those who are watching our show, sitting at their home, or those who are going to watch afterwards. And thank you all the viewers for watching our show. Thank you very much. And giving your replies to all the youth. I am sure today's program is very, very enlightening, not only the youth who have joined, but those who are watching our show, sitting at their home, or those who are going to watch afterwards. And thank you all the viewers for watching our show. Thank you very much.